Hello there, it's 2:01. This is Cheryl Lentz, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, talking to you on Tuesday at 2. I had to figure out what I was going to share with you today. I have a great stamp set called All Things Fabulous, and it's one that has a ton of pieces to it. There are 26 stamps in this set, and then it has a wonderful, wonderful die set that goes with it that has 15 dies. Hello, Cindy. So, and also I'm doing one of the cards that my hostess clubs are doing this month using the Queen Anne's lace set and dry brush stamp. So I'm going to do that. Happy Tuesday. Woohoo! Yes, it's Tuesday. So I had lots of fun with this new stamp set, and I have all the pieces kind of lined up. Well, I had them all lined up. And they were kind of interesting. When you have a stamp set that has that many pieces, it's a little bit more challenging. Let's see here, 1 and 1, 1 and 3. Okay, here's 1, 2, 3. Okay, I just wanted to put them back in order how I had everything lined up here. Now they're not. So I will line those up. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. So let me turn the camera around. I'm like, I'm going a mile a minute. I should have settled down. Hello, Linda. Hello, Linda. So I am going to turn the camera around. I'm going to stamp and make the card that we are doing in Hostess Club this month because I had a couple little tips. So I wanted to pass those along. And then I wanted to talk to you about the stamps at All Things Fabulous and show you some of the things I made with that. Not a card yet, but on Friday we'll do that. So, howdy, Linda. Okay, let's go. I'm going to turn the camera around. Hopefully more people will join us. When you do wave, leave a comment, let me know. I just sent a bunch of cards out to a lot of folks. So, and those were the people that commented and shared, and I so appreciate it when you share. We are up to, because it's you and me, we are up to 141 people on YouTube. Can you believe it? That was really kind of exciting for me. So we want to keep sharing because then those numbers go up, and that's good for my business, and I appreciate you supporting me in that fashion. So let's turn this around. Let's see here. I always tip my head up because, you know, bifocals. When you get old. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm going to start out with the card. Cindy, you already did this card. I'm so sorry, but we're just going to do it again. Some things bear repeating on occasion, right? Sometimes things bear repeating. So this is the card that they did last night for Hostess Club, and this has the dry brush. It looks kind of dark on here, and we stamped off on it. The dry brush is the background. I think you can see that. Can you see that? Yeah. Okay. It looks like, it just looks blurry, doesn't it? And then we use the stamp set Queen Anne's lace, which is very pretty. So I use that on here too. So let's go ahead and get some stamping done. And I'll show you a couple of the things that I did that made it easier. So when my girls come, this is what they get, a whole pack of goodies here with the 3 cards that they make for Hostess Club. And take that out. Here's all my pieces. So this used the dry brush. Now that's one of these big stamps. And what I did, instead of putting it on our big acrylic block, I put it on one of my Stamparatus, what are these called? Plates. Thank you. I put it on one of my Stamparatus plates. It's a lot less, it's not as heavy when I put my bucket together, and it's easier to handle. So what I did is I put my dry brush here. I'm using Pool Party for the background color. So I just set it down, and I put it all over here, and it looks like super dark, right? And then I took a piece of, okay, this is where I show my age. I took a piece of typing paper, copy paper, or we could say printer paper, and I put it over the top, and then you say the magic words, because I want to take some of that ink off. I don't want it that dark. So there we go. Now you have, if you used regular cardstock, I guess you could use that. And then I put my cardstock over the top of it, like that. Again, I put my paper over it and gave it a little rub here. Say the magic words. There we go. Take this off. Ta-da! And then you've got a lovely kind of a nice background. I like the background. Okay, so there we go. Now we're going to use the Queen Anne's lace. So to put the flowers on, so here's the Queen Anne's lace. I used Memento. This is a big stamp, so I usually leave the stamp down and I just tap it with my pad, with my stamp pad, making sure I get every, ink everywhere. There we go. And I'm going to turn this around. I'm just going to stamp right over the top here. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it to get it in the center and then giving it a good press. There we go. Ta-da! Isn't that pretty? It's so lacy. It's lacy and pretty. All right, let's cover up that ink. Now the flowers you add on separately, and that's Pool Party also. So I'm going to just ink this up. And they look kind of dark in the beginning. You could stamp off if you wanted it a little bit lighter, but I wanted it more of a contrast with the background since that we had stamped off. So this you just kind of hover over the top, and it's pretty easy and it's pretty forgiving for lining up. And I'm just kind of following, looking at the flowers. There we go, the black outline of the flowers. Give it a press, let that ink absorb. Ta-da! Now it will lighten as it dries. So, and then I think I stamped it inside too. So let's go ahead and stamp that inside real quick. Get that done. Here we go. All right, I'm going to use my Memento again. But this time I only stamped a portion of it. I didn't stamp the whole thing. I just wanted a little bit of it in the corner here. So just to dress up the inside layer, like that. Now we'll go with the flowers again. And I'll just kind of hover over the top. Let's see here. There we go. Ta-da! So it's like doing them both at once. Now, my layering on this one is Pretty Peacock. So that's what I use for the words, okay? So the lettering, the verses here, I'm gonna pull that out. And I have, where did I put it? Here we go. For the inside, it says celebrating all the wonderful things about you. What a nice verse, right? So I'm gonna put that, get this inside one done. Here we go. Let's try to get it relatively straight, please. There we go. Ta-da, pretty good. Okay, now I am going to use our, remember when we used this one, the Lovely Labels Pick a Punch. It's one of our new punches. So one end is flat. It goes 3 different sizes and one has a curved edge. So for the words on the front for the verse, I'm gonna take off the lock and I'm putting it in on the flat side. So before I stamp the words, I'm gonna put this in. I'm gonna turn it over, make sure it's centered, and I have that ready to punch. So I'm just gonna punch it, and I'm gonna keep that little piece that I just punched off. There we go. We're gonna keep that piece, and I'll show you what we're gonna do. Now I'm gonna stamp the words. It says Best Wishes. And these are nice because they're photopolymer, so even though you're using a 1/2 inch piece of cardstock, you can easily like put it on here because, ta-da, okay. Now I'm gonna take this little piece of, that I punched off, and I'm gonna put it over here so that it's about the same distance for my words. I'll pull that back a little bit. So I'm just kind of lining that up. Then I'm going to take a pencil, I'm going to hold it down, and just draw a line there. And then take my trusty little scissors, paper snips, and I'm going to cut that off where the line is. And now I'm going to put that back in my punch. But because it's so tiny, I'm going to put a piece of Post-it note on there for my little handle. I'm going to create a little handle. So put it on this side. And I'm just going to feed this back in to my punch. I'm going to turn it over and look on the other side to make sure I get it nice and straight in the middle. Here we go. Come on. It's like doing a little fishing expedition. Here we go. See where I'm going here. Okay. Come on, little fish. I'm just moving it down. There we go. Okay, now I want to center it. I'm going to pull out just move my pencil here to move it to the center. There we go, and then punch it. Ta-da. When I pull it out, ta-da. There we go, all fixed, even. Now I went ahead and punched out the front of it. So this piece is just going to glue right on here. I didn't have my glue out here. I was running around this morning. Peter had his first in-person exercise class with his Parkinson's group, so we were really excited about that. Yay! Next week he starts going Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I'll be an Uber driver 3 days a week, 3 mornings a week here. There. So I just glued it right onto that piece. Now, here is where it's kind of interesting. What I did with this is I took my front layer and I glued it onto the Pretty Peacock layer. Ta-da, ta-da, like that. Put this on, center it. And I wiggle it around with my green glue. Thank you, green glue, love that. I gotta pull it this way a little bit more. There we go. Okay. Then I took my verse and I put 3 dimensionals on it. I purposely did not go all the way to these rounded ends. So I have 3 of them here, just like that. And I left the ends free, nothing under there. So let's take this off. So this is a way to save some ribbon. And it's a little bit, but if you were doing a lot of these cards, that little bit adds up. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of, oops, centering it. Don't drop it. Centering it on my flowers here, like that. And then I have my ribbon cut in 2 pieces. So there's 2 different reasons why I did this. First of all, when I designed the card initially, I had scrap ribbon, and this is how I did it. But then after I was thinking about it, this is a great way to use it. First of all, you don't want the ribbon under your verse, because then you're gluing that down onto this ribbon, and it's not secured. Now that is secured, you're going to take your little pieces of ribbon, you're going to take a glue dot, and I'm just going to put a glue dot on both ends of this ribbon, a little tiny piece of ribbon, there. And I'm going to just put it right underneath here and center it. So I'm just kind of centering it with the hump on there. Put that there and wrap it around. Ta-da! So all this whole piece doesn't have any ribbon under it. So you're saving that much ribbon, and the verse is securely put onto the card front. So you don't have to, so I'm just sneaking it under, and this is just the right, this could even be smaller, you know, if you wanted to, but there we go. There. What do you think? Pretty cute? The girls liked that last night. Thought that was it was a fun way to do it and save yourself a little bit of ribbon. Like I said, if you're doing a lot of these cards, it makes a big difference. I think I did put this on with dimensionals then. Because of the ribbon, It gives it a little extra bulk and a little extra height there. So then I just put it on the front of my card. I have my cardstock. I used heavy white cardstock, cut 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. Here we go. Whoops, I got an extra one there. Let's put it there. I love to use the heavy white, the thick white, for my cards, that when they have a lot of layering and different things on them, it's just much more secure. It has a nicer, kind of stands up better. And so if you have a lot of people looking, that's, here we go, handling the card, they just stand up better that way. So, trying to put this on. There we go. Ta-da, ta-da. Now I'll put this one on. Cat, no, Cat. Cat's gonna, she wants to get in on the picture today, apparently. Put the layer on for the inside. We must layer. Yes, we love the layering. So if you received a card, let me know. Let me know if your card came in the mail. I sent a lot out. So I wanted to say hello to Pam, hello to June, hello to Patty. I'll be calling you later. Whoops, here comes the cat. She's gonna walk across my screen. Cat, no. Come on, keep going. Or are you gonna sit there? If you're gonna sit there, that's okay. Okay, card done. Ta-da! So remember, you can use your Stamparatus. Come on, cat. Here's the cat. You can use your Stamparatus plates for like a big block, and then it's a lot easier to handle and stamp off, and then save yourself some ribbon with some glue dots. Ta-da! There's the card. All right, now what I want to show you, I guess I did some other things on here. Wait a minute. I did some Winkostella on the flowers. Gave it a little sparkle here. And it makes it also look a little darker. Remember how dark that looked? Now that it's dried, it's the colors lighten up. So if you think it doesn't look like the same, color, let it dry, because you will, it does lighten up as it dries. Excuse me. I don't want to miss these guys inside, so you have a little sparkle. And then the other thing I used on here was my favorite new embellishment is, the ladies know, my favorite new embellishment is the sequence that has no hole in it. Self-adhesive sequence, no hole. I just love that idea. Let's see here. I did put some pearls on here too. Where's my pickup tool? I don't know where it is. Where did my pickup tool go? I don't know. Well, I'll use my scissors. It's not in place. It's not in the right place. Something must have been put away. Here we go. I'm going to take my scissors. I put pearls. They were screaming here for this. Right here on the little, there's always these little tiny embellishments that make a difference, right? Okay, I put pearls on there, and then I use some of my, yay, I love these things. My sequence, self-adhesive sequence. I don't know where my pickup tool went. Let's see here. Come on. I'll put one here. It's gone. It was right over here. I don't know where it went. And one over here, and we'll put a little one up further. Do you see it?
Is the roller attached?
Oh, yeah, but I have more than one. I do have one with the roller attached. Okay, there we go. This is what here's my pickup tool. Because we have this additional little roller, but I usually have two of them sitting here. Okay, there we go. Now it's done. Now I added sparkle, and I added the little sequence and the little pearls. So now it looks complete, right? There we go. Okay, so that's the card. Oh, cat. Okay, so now I want to play with this set. So here it is, All Things Fabulous. There's so many so many stamps, 26 different stamps. So it's 3 different flowers, and there's 3 steps to each flower. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then it has these little ones that have a couple of steps too. You get 15, if you buy it in the bundle, you get 15 dies that come with it. So one is this really pretty die that I haven't used yet, but I'm anxious to do that. And then it cuts out the flowers, cuts out the leaves, the 3 different leaves. And then I love when Stampin' Up! Does this. For the little pieces, they have 2, because you never just stamp 1. So there's 2 dies for the little leaf flower, and 2 for this little image, this and this one. So 2, 4. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 different ones where you have multiple dies to cut them out. So you can have a whole gathering of flowers, and then the 3 leaves and the 3 flowers. So what I did in playing with this, when you take this out, it has all these dies on it, all these stamps, and they're numbered. So it's like 1A, 1B, 1C, you know, on down the line. So what I do is I take them out and I pull all of them out here. So here's my 1, 2, and 3. I put them on my blocks. I numbered them. So this is stamp number 1, 1, 1. And this is like, they say this is the first one to do, second one to do, third one to do. Okay, so I lined them all up like this until you get to know your stamp, you know, get familiar with it, the set. It's just an easy way to remember what you're doing. If you're, remember, you bring them all out and play with them all. That's what I do. I bring them all out at one time and then play with them. So here's all the leaves. Those are just one step. There's cat hair on there. Thank you, cat. And then we have all these little ones. So number 7 goes up to 7 of them. Here's 6, 1 and 2. Here's 5, 1 and 2. 1, 2, 3. I guess 5 has 3. And this one is 4, 1, 2, 3. So I have them all together. And this is how I leave them on my desk to play with. So yesterday when I was playing with them, now they suggest, okay, that you start out with number 1, then go to number 2, number 3. And I would suggest you go at opposite. The thing is that generally the last one that you're doing is the darkest color. So when I sat and played with these, I did a million flowers yesterday. Look at all these flowers. I did a bunch of flowers yesterday. So here's the little tiny one. And what I did was I wrote down, hello, Patty. Oh, I'm glad that you got your card. What I did was I wrote down what number stamp it was. So it's number 5. I'll bring this up closer. And then I used the number 1 stamped off, and I told what color, and I went all the way down the line. So I did that with a bunch of these, just so I knew what I did, what colors I thought worked together, what colors I didn't like, and how it was easier to put them all together. So I have like a little encyclopedia of all these different flowers and how to put them together. So I was having a ball. So like this one I used Gorgeous Grape and Pretty Peacock. So, or not Pretty Peacock, I mean Poppy Parade. So it was like, oh my gosh. But, you know, the flowers are darker. Gorgeous Grape and Highland Heather. Some of them I stamped off. So just kind of down the line, I just kept going. I was having so much fun. So sit and play with the sets, and then write down what you did, because you always think you're going to remember. I never do. I always think, oh yeah, I really like that. I'll remember that. No, it doesn't happen. I don't remember, and then I'm kind of stuck with it, like trying to figure it out all over again. Why reinvent the wheel when you can play with it and have it done? So what I was going to do today is I will show you when I stamped one of these. So let's see here. I liked this one with the calypso. So I used, I'm going to stamp this rose one. So it's the number 1. And I'm going to use Calypso Coral and Petal Pink. So I'm going to have both my colors out here. So I'm starting with the number 3 because I'm always starting with the darker color, because especially after you've stamped for a while and the stamps get a little bit discolored, it's hard to line that up. But if you have the dark color first, much easier to line up. Okay, so here's my number 3 block. I have it all marked, so it's number, you know, with the number 1 flower, but number 3 stamp. And then I did my Calypso Coral for the number 2, but on this one, I stamped off, and then you just kind of hover over, and the closer you get, you can see where to stamp it and how things are lining up, but it's just easier because I have that dark color sitting there waiting for me. There we go. And then number 3, I used the petal pink. So I'm going to open that up. So it's really the number 1, right? The number 1 block with the number 1 flower. And again, I'm just going to line it up. And you can kind of, after you use it, you can kind of see where the petals, because the dark kind of goes on the edge of the petal. Ta-da! There you go. So, and then let it dry. And so that's what I would suggest. So when you have one that has numerous ones, see, if I start out with this light color, it's much harder to get it lined up when I'm going through trying to line up all those little tiny lines and all the detail on it. But doing it in reverse, dark first, just remember dark first, smallest one first, and then you go towards the small one. So what I'll do on Friday is I'll make a card with this because I have so many of them, and I was just playing with making the flower colors. I didn't make a card with it. So I apologize for that, but I will come back on Friday and show you a card using the stamp set All Things Fabulous, and use the dies and show you this pretty little element die. And we'll get some cards done with that. So I'm going to turn the camera around. Let's see here. There we go. Hello. Okay, here we go. Back again, back again. So thank you for watching. I hope that it was interesting and helpful for you. Give you a couple little tips. And I will come back on Friday using All Things Fabulous. In the meantime, you guys have a great week, and I will see you on Friday. Take care. Bye-bye.